Hello, hello, hello. Listen, it is the last Monday in December and 2021. I am your strategist. I am your life coach. I am your career and development consultant. I am Maxine Phillips McKoy, the levelless woman. Tonight, we have a phenomenal guest with us. But before we bring our guests on, what is exactly levelless? Well, levelless is about removing all levels. It's about you defining what success is for you so that you can advocate for yourself, you understand your worth, and you're able to achieve success on your own terms, not someone else's, but your own terms. And that's what levelless is all about. Removing those levels so that you're no longer competing with yourself, and you definitely do not need to compete with anyone else. So, as we start talking about tonight, we are in the process of ending 2021 and beginning 2022. But what are you going to be doing? What strategy have you put in place for yourself as you begin 2022? A strategy, a roadmap, a plan, things that you know you want to accomplish. And then you have action items against it, a timetable in which you're going to complete it, and you have specific information that you have outlined on your goals. I know we talk about, resolutions, but here at Levelless, we don't talk about resolutions. We talk about context. We talk about content, and we talk about how are you going to position yourself as you move forward in life. But one of the things that we need to do as we position ourselves is to consider our mental health. I know we just came out of the month where it's mental health awareness, but mental health should be every day. It should be something that we should keep in the forefront of our mind. So, our guest tonight is going to be sharing with us mental health care and how do we use crystals as a part of the mental health care. So, let me give you just a little information about our guest. Her name is Dr. Angel Green. Dr. Green is a highly respected national board certified, board certified life coach and an educational speaker who utilizes spirituality and introspection in assessment to support individuals in becoming their desired potential. Did you hear that? Desired potential. Not what someone else expects of you, but what you expect of yourself. For the past 20 years, she has focused on mental health and wellness, with her main focus being crystals to help support her clients. Her techniques, she combines spirituality with the crystals and stones in a comprehensive transformational presentation that is entertaining and educational. Now, Angel, she is on a direct mission to support people in any area of their life, because we cannot limit ourselves. Not only any area of their life, the areas that need improvement. And she has helped over hundreds of people authentically find their happy place and find their place of peace. Yes, she used crystals, but she also talks about sexuality and relationships. She addresses bullying. She has personal development workshops. She does the health and wellness that we talked about, and she does corporate training. So, having said all of that, what does this mean? It means that she's available for you to bring her into conferences, workshops, seminars. So that means that yes, she's available to do these things in a corporate setting or just one on one or a group setting. So without further ado, let's bring up Dr. Angel Green. There she
Thank
is.
you. Thank you so much.
Oh, this is a phenomenal woman. I mean, she is, she's sort of try to be reserved, but let me tell you what, she is a powerhouse of information. And I cannot wait to hear all the great things that you're going to be sharing with us, Dr. Green.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. The introduction was amazing.
Well, that's who you are. And
I'm
that's
glad
the
it's
beauty of
recorded.
it. That's the beauty of it, is that we introduce you for who you are and what
Thank
you've
you.
been created to do. So I'm so excited. Thank you for accepting my invite to be my special guest this evening.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate you having me. I'm excited about the topic today.
Ooh, wait. So as we get into this topic, mental health and
Yes.
crystals. Now, what made you and how did you come about pulling these two things together?
Well, for me, a lot of times with just growing up, I could find the beauty in everything. And later in life, I realized that the things that I found beauty in actually had meanings beyond what I knew. And I was drawn to it in so many different ways, but more so on a natural and holistic perspective. And crystals and stones are one of those things that I've always been intrigued with. And
Oh,
so whenever I decided to help people in coaching, I wanted to find a way to implement that in supporting people getting to their happy place.
I love that happy place. It makes me think of the dance. Are you happy? But anyway, so that is so awesome that you're able to pull these two things together from that mental perspective as well as crystals. So talk to me about the crystal side of it. We're going to come back to the mental health, but we have so much information out here on mental health, but I've never seen anyone bring these two areas together. So talk to me a little bit about crystals. What make you bring crystals into the mental health space?
I think for me, a lot of times people need things that are what we consider to be metaphysical, okay,
Mhm.
which is something that is non-physical that happens. Spirituality would be considered a type of metaphysics, but so would meditation, and so would crystals. And I only say that, but spirituality is one's belief in something or someone, you know.
Right.
But metaphysics allows you to take God's creations and apply them for the meaning and the source known to that stone. You're not actually making anything be better than what it is. You're actually tapping into what's already innately there and you're utilizing it for that purpose. So a lot of times when people have issues going on with them, um, mentally, emotionally, if they feel like they're heartbroken or they have distress or major concerns about things, they worry a lot, they don't feel safe, they can't speak up. It's different stones that are in a line with those things um, to help people be productive in those areas.
Wow. I love the fact that you're looking at it from a holistic perspective because I heard you say not only mental, but intellectual, emotional, spiritual, physical, all and that's what life is all about is how do we
Yes,
find that balance, within ourselves. And I'm hearing you to say crystals. There are crystals that can help us to work with that or
yes,
meet a need or meditate. So, what
yes.
strategies can you start sharing with us and sharing with our audience about things that they need to take into consideration as they're looking at crystals, or should they even consider, adding crystals as a part of their strategy in life?
Absolutely. And so, one of the first things I would say is this is a joke, so let's take it as it is. But crystals are like men. You might pick one out that you think is good for you, and it doesn't work for you. You like it more than it likes you. Crystals can be that way as well. So you have to make sure that you resonate with the stone that you're actually wanting to have because it could cause the opposite effect.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
So tell us, what are some strategies that we should use as we start considering a crystal for ourselves? How do we go
Um,
about selecting the proper crystal for us?
so one of the things I would say is that I would do some research on astrologically to see when you were born and what crystal resonates with your astrological sign. But that's a whole nother aspect. But it's simple Google research. And if you Google crystal, it will often tell you whether or not it's good for your sign or not.
Okay, all right. So
Not that you have to take that 100% because all or nothing is true.
mhm.
However, when it comes to crystals, that's a good place to start. And then also speaking with someone that knows something more about crystals is also alternative because they could guide you in the proper direction and connect you with different stones that may offer the same outcome, but they have different properties that may work best with you.
Well, listen, I see your name that's being scrolled across the screen right now. So, listen, you all need to take this name and number down right now so that you can reach out to Dr. Angel. Don't worry about going out there on Google and Googling it. Contact her. She's done 20
Absolutely.
years of research. She has all of this great information. So let's put her to work. Let's put her to work. So go on and take that number 919-247-8536. Put it down there and give her a call starting tomorrow. Or give her a break tonight, but call us starting tomorrow. Okay, Angel. So as we start talking about these stones, I mean, I get excited because I really love, crystals. I really love stones. I really, I have some rocks that I picked up that was at a church, and it said, "Do the big things first," and believe in yourself, and then nice and smooth, and so I'm always intrigued when it comes to amethyst and the pearl, and you talk about there's a black stone. What is that
Black
black stone?
tourmaline or black
Yes,
obsidian.
yes. So
Yes,
I'm always intrigued about that and way it feels and the way it looks. And I'm a visual learner, and because I'm a visual learner, stones really attracts me and
yes,
crystals because they have these vibrant colors. So help us to understand, like you talked about, rather than going out on the internet, they're contacting you.
yes.
So when we contact you, what what can we expect?
We can expect a conversation about your desire for your outcome. What is your desired outcome? What is it that you're desiring to bring forth? So I like to focus on resolution and solution opposed to problem, but I can get the problem out of the resolution or the solution. If you're able to articulate what it is you want to happen, so
Mm-hmm.
if you want to uh, gain employment or you want to learn to speak up for yourself, you can say it in that way instead of saying, I don't know how to speak up for myself. I don't have a job. No, let's talk about what you desire and word it in a way in which you're speaking it into existence, because that's where the tongue is sharper than the sword comes in at. And, because we have power in our word.
Yeah, yeah. They do say it's power in the tongue.
So,
Change your words, and it will change your world.
yes,
So there's a little video that I play in some of my workshops, and it's one of those videos that talks about change your words and it would change your world. And that's exactly what I'm hearing you talk about. I
mhm,
also heard you talk about, because you're a certified coach,
yes.
I also just heard you say, ladies and gentlemen, did you hear her talk about that she's able to extract out of you what's already inside of you because you already have the desires?
It's already there. It's
Come
already
on, tell
there.
us a little bit more about that. How does that work?
Basically, as I was stating, the process of focusing on the outcome opposed to the problem, and then talking about ways to creating a plan in order to make that happen. But the main key of the whole thing is that they're the individuals that do all the talking most of the time. I prompt a question in order to get a specific type of response back. If that's not the way that it should be spoken, then let's articulate. We're not going to use powerless words when we have conversation. We're going to use words of power. So it's a change of mindset and thought process. Like, you're never trying to do something. I hate when someone says, I'm trying to do this, or I'm trying. No, I'm in the process of doing. So when you say I'm in the process of, that statement alone gives you more power and make you feel like you're doing something, like you're moving and grooving.
Action, action. You're taking action. I like that action. And that's what a strategy is all about. And a plan is putting a plan in place and then taking actions and implementing it. So, Angels, as we're talking to you and we come to you and we talk to you about our situation, you help us extract it and articulate it. How does the crystals fit into this?
So now we look at stones that deal with the area of burden.
Okay.
So, and so it's helping one remember. For me, on an overall, I believe the whole concept of it all is to remember the power that you have within, because my company is called Angelic Magic, and the magic begins within. Everything is within you.
Love
And
it.
so the thing is to find it, remember it, and allow it to constantly resonate.
Oh man. And you know what? That brings me right back. Life is a full circle because that brings me right back to level less. Because
Yes,
there's no level, the sky's not the limit. So you don't have to
exactly.
limit yourself. You can just continue to succeed because now you understand, you have already articulated what it is that you want, and the universe is reacting, and you just need to receive it and believe it.
I call it the bubble theory of relativity.
Oh,
And
come on
so,
with it. Come on, tell us what that means.
so for me, it's the concept of, when you don't learn a lesson in life, you have all these bubbles coming at you, and your body is made of certain elements at certain times in your life. You're a lot more fragile as a baby. So you have to learn things over and over before you get the actual meaning of it. But as an
Hmm.
adult, when you learn a behavior and it's not good for you, it's like a bubble that comes in and it bounces off. And when that bubble bounces off, it multiplies, because it should have popped. If you would have
Okay.
learned the lesson, then you would have popped the bubble. But when you don't, it bounces off, and you don't know how many more bubbles it's going to turn into. You have no clue. And that's why people say they keep thinking they're going through tests, or they're being tried, or because if it took you a long time to bust bubbles, they kept coming off of you and going back out. The situation hasn't resolved itself. And
Wow.
until you put yourself in a mindset of at least focusing on doing awesome things every day, not just for yourself, but for others too. Words are free. When you learn to compliment people and say nice things, you would be surprised at just what little simple things would make your life feel like. It's just, and it doesn't cost you anything to compliment someone, but a moment in time. And if you're standing in line, you can find something good about somebody, even if you see that they, whatever, might not be perfect, or they're self-conscious about something. Let them know it's okay, you know.
Wow. I
But
like I like that visual you just gave me because like I just told you, I'm a visual learner. And you just painted a nice picture. You talked about the bubbles, and I could see the bubbles coming in, and, and hitting the body or hitting my face or hitting my cheek and then bouncing off because I did not learn
right,
from that. And then it's a repeat. And then you're asking yourself, why does this continue to happen to me? And then when that bubble comes back, then allow it to peep, look at it, explode.
exactly.
And then, what worked, what didn't work, what should I be doing differently. I like that concept. I like that bubble. I really like that bubble. It reminds me of kids outside playing and blowing the bubbles, right?
Exactly.
But they're trying to catch them to bust them. They don't
Exactly.
realize that later in life they're gonna be bouncing them off bouncing them off them instead of catching them and busting them. So,
Exactly.
yeah, so that's good. So if we still come back to the crystals, because I want the audience to understand the adding crystals to their strategy in life, because we're talking about the mental care.
Mhm.
Mental care. So how do we incorporate these crystals into our mental care?
So, for instance, stones like hematite, black obsidian, black tourmaline. These are the type of stones that are protection and grounding stones.
Mm.
So for someone like me that's very hyper, these are stones that I would wear to center myself, or if I'm going somewhere and I'm not feeling safe, to bring me comfort that I need. And for some reason, it works. Like it just works. It's not like pseudoscience. You can feel it in the stone, especially if you cleanse the stone, charge the stone, and hold the stone accountable for what it's supposed to do. And
Wow.
most people have to learn how to take care of their stones
I was
because
going to say that's another. We have to bring you back, and then you're going to have to help us understand how to take care of the stone and do all those things that you just talked about the stone. But
yeah.
tell us about one or two other stones that has helped individuals. You know that they're your clients.
Rose quartz is a very, very good stone for finding peace, self love, self value, just being one with yourself. It's a beautiful stone. It's pink, of course.
Hmm.
I have rose quartz. It's over there, but I should have had some examples.
That's okay.
Next
That's all right.
time I come.
But they can find them on your website, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
They can. Angelicmagic.com. Yes.
Okay.
So, rose quartz is a very calming stone and relaxing stone. It's peaceful and it gives you that kind of loving feeling when you wear it. And
Hmm.
if you have to be open minded. Like, well, I've even seen it calm people down that's in a rage, like
Okay.
being very upset and angry, and they just hold it. It's
Hmm.
almost like it's sucking something out of them. So I've seen that type of mental transformation. I've seen where I've put tiger's eye in a little boy was so hyper he was running all over the place. I put these little balls of tiger's eye in his pocket, and one in the front of each of his pockets in the back. And then he put on this necklace that was tiger's eye, and he was just sitting there like this. His mom was like, "What is it?" I was like, "His is bringing his energy down." He was like, he ran in the kitchen. He was like, "Mom, I don't want to feel like this anymore." He took the necklace out and then he tried to run off. He came back. He dug in each of his pockets and found each of the stones that I thought I was hiding. Like, I know what's weighing me down. I can feel it. Get it out my pocket. And then he was back on 100 again. I was just like, she was like, "I can tell it really works." I was like, "It does."
I mean, well, that's a stopping point. That's a strategy, that, when you understand the power behind the crystals and you
Yes.
understand what you need in order to center you, what you need in order to balance you, every stone is not for everybody.
Mhm.
And so that's why Angel is the expert at these crystals and the stones that we need to call her and make an appointment and strategize on which stone we need to have for us in order to help us to be centered. Now's the time that you're creating your 2022 strategy. So
Yes,
why not incorporate crystals or stones as a part of that strategy now that you know it? I mean, it's
exactly.
something different when you don't know what you don't know, but now we're bringing new information to you and start incorporating this into part of your strategy for 2022. And let's see how it works. Give us feedback.
Yes.
Give us feedback. You can always contact Angel, and I'll put my contact information out there in just a moment. And let us know how these crystals and these stones are helping you.
Hmm.
Helping you. So, what other stone can you tell us about that would be a strategy that we can use in life? You talked about this particular one that
Hmm.
calms us down, but those who
Hmm.
can be a little bit on the, I call it extreme extrovert side.
Okay. Clear quartz.
Okay.
Clear quartz is a stone that a lot of people are attracted to. However, clear quartz is what we call a crystal amplifier. So basically, whether you wear clear quartz and you're feeling good or whether you wear it and you're feeling bad, it's an amplifier. So you have to be mindful of that particular stone, because if you're not in a good mood, you could just continue in that direction because you don't realize that your energy is being perpetuated in the
Mm.
direction, because the crystal is amplifying your energy. So when you're
Wow.
happy, it's a great crystal to wear when you're happy or you're feeling love or you're feeling, joy, whatever emotion that's good, be mindful of quartz. And it also magnifies other crystals. So also be mindful of that as well.
Which means what? Give us a little bit example. If it magnifies other crystals, we know it's going to enhance it, but
Correct. That means
okay,
that it amplifies the energy force of that crystal. So I would say on an energy spectrum, if the crystal you had went out 15 feet, if it's magnified, it may extend out 100 feet.
okay, okay. All right. So as we start incorporating into the 2022 strategy and we start looking at these crystals for ourselves, when we come to you, and does it take one session, two session for you to understand what crystal is going to be that can enhance us, that's best for us? Because like I said, it's not a one size fits all.
Right. No, I can identify that need within the first session.
Okay, excellent.
Yes. And I can
Excellent.
identify the need of the crystals that you don't need to have in your presence at this moment, because some things build off of other things. Like it's almost like if you need to be grounded and you pick up a meteorite crystal, which is a crystal that comes from outer space that's broken off into pieces, and you're able to buy pieces of it. The energy on that is so heightened that it may make somebody feel, it may make them sick. It could do anything because it's taking their body to an extra level that they shouldn't be at. So, um, just knowing what crystals are good for you at that moment in time. It's not to say it's never going to be good for you, but
Right.
it's just saying right now you need this before you get that.
Oh, wow. I heard you say that, it can amplify you and it depends on what you're doing at this given time in life. And
Yes.
that always brings me back to, you're assessing them and you're
Mhm.
helping them to understand I love the fact that you said, what's the outcome that you want?
Yes.
Not what the crystal you want, but
Right.
what's the outcome you want. And based on the outcome you're looking for, then you start helping them to understand the crystal that can enhance what they're wanting to do.
Yes. And keep as a
Excellent.
reminder. And, people get their bonds with their stones and their crystals. They like are very precious and important. They're like diamonds, rubies, and pearls,
Yeah.
So it's like when she has on her pearls.
Yes, indeed.
So,
Yeah, my mother was very conscious and named me Pearl, so she already knew the grit and grind that I would go through in life,
oh
to
yeah,
become
oh
the
yeah.
precious pearl that I am. So
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so as we start talking about these crystals and all these different type of crystals, help me to understand a little bit about how your clients have been able to get some of the results that they've gotten through the stones that you recommended.
Um Again, first of all, the care of the stone, because the clients that I see are genuinely looking for a change. It's not that they are wanting the crystal to make them what they become. And most people are conscious and aware of the things that crystals can provide for people. So a
Yeah.
lot of times when people come, they'll say that they're looking for a crystal that can do this or a crystal that can do that. And again, we have the conversation, and now it's in support of what is the outcome, what are we looking to achieve. And so with that, that's the crystal we need. And I may see things and check for things, um, to see if they need other crystals to go along with what they're dealing with. Because a lot of times it's just not one crystal a person needs, because you have
Oh,
chakras in your body. And so, when your chakras are off balance, it causes your emotional being and your spiritual being to be off balance, because
oh,
your crown chakra is the chakra that connects you with your higher source or your higher being, your spiritual connection with God or the creator or the most high, whoever one may, deal with religiously.
right. Okay, now you just introduced a new term to me. I know a little bit about the chakras. I mean, I know the importance of opening up the energy channel. But since you've introduced that word, I think it would only serve us right is to share with our audience exactly what does that mean and how can it really benefit them, because we're talking about the mental health care, the mental care, and we're talking about preparing ourselves for 2022, and anything that we can learn that can enhance the body and that can open our energy source up, that's going to end up helping us to become grounded and centered, and then that way focused, and that way
Yes.
we can start meeting our goals. So talk to us just a little bit about this chakra.
So the basic seven chakras would be, I would say, I always think people are more educated than they are. So I'm always thinking, well, you already know that it's seven chakras, right? So,
Give us the
you know,
basics.
so, so, the basics is it's actually more than seven chakras, but there are basic seven chakras,
Seven. Right.
starting with your crown chakra, going to your root chakra. And so, a lot of people heard of your third eye, which is basically your discernment, your throat chakra, which helps you speak and be clear on the things that you're thinking. Your heart chakra, of course, your love synergy, and whether it's open or closed, broken or fixed, you can have a lot of issues. And all these things tie into your spiritual body, meaning your who you are, how you behave, how you express yourself, and how you're received and perceived by others. So, you also have your sacral chakra, your solar plexus, and your sacral chakra, and then your root chakra. And so your sacral chakra would be that feeling you get in the pit of your stomach sometimes when you're feeling a little like, ooh, I don't feel good. This don't feel right
Well, I
right
shouldn't be
now.
doing this right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah. That feeling right there, that's that one. But when we carry too much of that emotion and feeling there, it can begin to make you sick, because
Yeah.
that's a toxic feeling. Think about carrying that. Any feeling a person carries for too long of a period of time is going to have an effect on their physical body.
Mhm.
It's That's a part of the dis-ease and dis-ease, and it is mental. It starts in your mind. Think about it. When you could be perfectly healthy, you could get upset about something, cry profusely, profusely, profusely. Next thing you know, your head is hurting, your nose is running, you're coughing, your eyes are swollen. Things begin to happen to your body physically because you're behaving in a way that's expressing physical response to something that's emotional.
Right.
So being in control of your emotions will help most people physically. A lot of people don't even understand when people use laughter as a source of healing, because A, you jiggling the body organs and they're moving around when you're laughing, but B, you're freeing the mind and you're not causing stress on your organs and your body, because that gut feeling that you felt in the pit of your stomach when somebody disrespected you, or you found out some bad information and it just hit you, that feeling right there is the feeling that most people carry around too long. And it's
Mm.
not good, because ugly feelings cause the worst diseases.
You
Yeah.
Oh my, I mean, you just really hit a lot of us. I mean, you just stepped on a lot of toes right now, because that is so true. I know in 2021, I've been under a lot of stress myself. or and and it compound. It just continue to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow, and
Mm-hmm.
then before you know it, you really are sick. And it has caused a situation in my life that I don't like, but it has. And so you have to remove yourself from some of that stress, but you have to also identify
Yes.
when you're in the midst of all of that stress.
Correct.
What do you need to start doing with it? I have a
Right.
friend who always talk about the remarkable woman, Cynthia White, and that's one of the things that she does. And she always talks about finding your peace,
Mm-hmm.
finding that quiet time and getting by yourself, and rejuvenating, and I always talk about that me time and that meditation time, because that's what the mental health care is all about, is you becoming centered and you becoming
Yes.
able to identify these things that's happening to you and start removing yourself away from them before you become toxic, before you become sick, before
Yes.
you have a situation where it's compromising your life and your lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So but crystals can also bring some of this comfort. It can bring some of this balancing
Yes.
back into the life. I just want to bring it back to the crystals because I think this is so important.
And
It's so
crystals
essential.
too, as I was explaining the different chakras, um, certain crystals that you pick up and hold will just you can just begin to feel it, remove that feeling that you had, and that's where you find the believers. That's where you find the people that's like, I can just like I'm feeling like I'm being free or something, and it's just like you know, no promises are made, but when you can feel the energy of a stone, it's a powerful thing. And when a person takes care of their crystals and make sure that they're clean and get the energy that they need to get, and when people pick them up, you don't just put them back in there, because it takes the energy, and it's like mixing it in a bowl of germ, like it's like a energy germ thing to me. And so no, the whole thing will have to be cleaned if it goes back in the bowl. So I'm very peculiar about making sure all my stones and crystals are constantly charged.
I love the fact that you say charged, constantly charged. And that's what
Yeah.
we have to do as an individual. We have to
Right.
recharge ourselves.
Yes.
And a way of recharging ourselves is, hey, Dr. Green is sharing with us today, ladies and gentlemen. What questions do you have for Dr. Green? We have an expert here on crystals. So if you have a question, you're sitting out there and you've been thinking about crystals, or you want to know, you have just a question, period. You have our contact information is coming across the screen, information and angelic magic, magik.com,
Mhm.
so that you can reach out to her. This is phenomenal information. Dr. Green, I know that there came a point in your life that you started using crystals to center you, to balance you. So
Yes.
share with us a story.
Ooh.
One, just one. I know there are many. I know that. I know. Like with all of us, we have many stories that we can share. But what would be the one story that can show us the strategy on the essential part of using a crystal to help bring us into balance?
I would say when I wear tiger's eye, red tiger's eye, blue tiger's eye, or brown tiger's eye, um, they're grounding stones for me. And I forget sometimes. And also hematite, which are two different stones, but I would put on several stones to get the balance that I felt like I needed, and it would work. Sometimes it worked too well, because then I would just become like super quiet, and I'm not doing it to be super quiet. I'm doing it to not be, I'm doing it to be unnerved, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. It does. It
Yeah.
calms us
So,
down, brings us into a balance and peace. Uh-huh.
yeah, so it kind of woo-saws me, but sometimes it's just like you forget. The doctor has a doctor, the bodybuilder has a trainer. Everybody has to have that support system. So sometimes people have to remind me, "Don't you have a stone or a crystal or herb for that?" I'm like, yeah, I do. You know, but if it was someone else, it would be my first thought. So I have to remind myself the same thing I remind other people at times. You have to make sure I mean, now getting grounded and centered and just being in my woosah space, that's the way that I live. So I don't deal with stress, I guess, the way most people deal with stress. So when things happen, I'm probably not as stressed out because I'm not in stress overload. Now, do
Right.
I have my rough moments? Yes, I do.
Yeah,
But
we all
I
do.
get it out. I get it out. I don't want to stay in it forever, you
Yeah.
know.
I love the fact that, do we all, of course, we all have our rough moments. It's called LIFE, life.
Yes,
That's what it's called. And we're going to
absolutely.
go through some trials and tribulations in life. But isn't it awesome to be able to know that there are stones, there are crystals that from the earth, they're already here. They've already been mined. And it's a
Yeah,
matter of us understanding which one is going to be the best one for us and
yes.
how to help us. I love it. I absolutely love it. So, what other strategies can you share with us as far as using crystals?
Um, you actually can use crystals to charge your water, and
Okay.
you can drink crystal water. So, um, when it comes to that, again, eat see me,
Yep.
but
Yep.
definitely do your research before you think you can put any crystal in water. But what it does is you can use certain crystals and place it in water, charge it in the sun, charge it under a full moon, and when I tell you, absolutely the best water you'll ever drink in your life, hands down, the best water you ever drink in your life. Like, it's delicious,
Okay.
healthy, and nutritious, and it makes you feel really good, and it makes you want more. Every person that ever had any of it was just like, oh, may I have some more? Sure.
Okay. All right. And of course, we need to drink half of our body weight in water or in a liquid, not tea, not tea and coffee.
Yeah,
Something that's going to be on the healthy side.
absolutely.
All right, so that's good. So, what other
Yes.
strategy can you share with us as far as using the crystals for ourselves?
So people utilize crystals in meditation,
Okay.
and so contingent on what a person's issue is. Some people are nervous, some people are shy, some people are, you know, needing the courage for different things. You have different shaped crystals for different reasons. So you have crystals shaped in the shape of a heart. You have crystals shaped in an oval palm stone that's very smooth, that one can hold in their hand easily. You have cylinder crystals. One may be, let me say, a positive and a negative in a sense,
Mm-hmm.
but not that way. I'm just giving you an analogy, um, to have a concept of exactly what I mean. But you hold them, and you can actually feel the energy of the stones, traveling through your body. But the different shapes of the stone actually help people connect with the stone, uh, for whatever purpose that they're desiring, or should I say their outcome,
The outcome.
their
Okay.
desired outcome in my case. Yeah, and so you have crystal, like, you have a crystal skull. They said it's like 7 crystal skulls in the world, and they're like these amazing crystal, um, quartz, what are they, Lemurian quartz,
Mm-hmm.
which is down in Brazil area, like Lemuria, the land of Lemuria. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but these particular crystals were supposed to have written information engraved into the actual stone. I actually carry those Lemurian quartz, and when you meditate, you can utilize those crystals to get information. So, but
Wow.
the 7 skulls, they're like collector's items. They're like underground. It's Indiana Jones. You remember that movie
Right.
with
Now
when they
that I
were looking,
remember. Yeah.
yeah, when they were looking for the crystal skull.
Right.
Yeah, it's more than one of them. So,
But what I'm hearing you say here is important thing is to, first of all, I talk about understanding who you are from your core.
Yes.
And in understanding who you are from your core, that's going to then help you to understand what crystal is going to be most beneficial for this
Mhm.
individual. Because,
Absolutely.
right, because you listen, ladies and gentlemen, you need to add this to your strategy for 2022. I mean, there's so much information I don't know about crystals, but now I do know a resource that I can go to learn more about it. And also, I'm going to make my appointment, right? I want to
Yes.
know what crystal, what crystal I
Yes.
need in
Yes.
order to center me and to keep me grounded. Because
Yes.
listen, I have a business coach, I have a
Mhm.
mentor, and now
Mhm.
I need you in order to help me to understand these crystals that I need to add to my daily walk in life.
Yes.
Because it's nothing like being balanced. It's nothing like being fulfilled and having that feeling of fulfillment.
Yes.
I know we both are coaches and we're going to help you with the
Mhm.
strategy and all of that, but we also want you to feel good,
Yes.
mentally, emotionally, spiritual, intellectually, and financially. So I will be having individuals to come on and talk about finances as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
Um,
that's awesome. So what do you have coming up? I mean, so you have a website that they can go to and look at your crystals and then make an appointment with you?
yes, I do. I actually do, and I'm gonna be doing a live coming up. We'll decide here in a couple of days. I'm thinking it's gonna be Thursday.
Okay.
Um, but I will put the flyer out for the live and have some things up there that'll be for sale on the website and some that'll just be for sale for live exclusive and have giveaways and things of that nature. So
All
it should
right.
be a lot of fun.
And then not only that, because you're making this jewelry yourself.
Yes.
All right.
So
So they have pieces that they can purchase that you've already made. And it's my understanding that you also do commission work.
yes, absolutely. I do custom pieces. I don't know if people ever seen like a shaman or a babalao, someone that you would see with massive crystals or stones wrapped around their neck, but I make those type pieces as well. And since you said you would have me back, I will make sure that I bring those things and give a breakdown of what it means and why certain crystals are the way they are and what that particular crystal means
Yes. And I,
for the person for the person that's producing the work, because a lot of times people don't realize, like, even if you're a Christian, most Christians have stood in a prayer line where they've gone up and the pastor's put his hand on them, and some people say they feel something and they fall backwards, and so the energy that it takes for a person to give energy to anyone, it takes energy from that person. So those people have to be protected as well. And I'm not just utilizing a pastor as an example, because you can look at a person that's a massage therapist or a Reiki practitioner or a, any type of coaching that requires hands-on or job that you touch other people all the time. That energy exchange is coming into your body, and so you want something to protect your body from receiving that energy,
right, right, right.
because we're
Okay.
like sponges. And so what crystals do often too is utilize their energy field to keep you from receiving things.
All right.
And
And so we talked about having you back on, and you're going to be able to give us a breakdown of some of these crystals. And at that time, ladies and gentlemen, I intend to have some crystals wrapped around my neck as well.
yes,
So I can be a witness to how these crystals are balancing me. Because they say practice what you teach.
yes,
So
yes.
I'm a firm believer in practicing what I teach. So if I'm bringing you on here, then yes, I'm going to make that appointment, and I'm going to be a part of that, part of what you're doing, so I can experience it.
Thank
If
you
it's
so
out
much.
there, I want to experience it. It's essential, and it's going to help balance me, and it's going to help me with my mental health.
Yes.
I'm open for it because listen, there's a lot of stress that's going on right now. Much stress going on right now with everything
Yes.
that's happening in the world. with the job situation, and with the shortages, of all the
Yes.
shortages that's happening. So there's a lot of stress,
Hmm.
and if we
Yes.
can de-stress ourselves, then that would help us, because stress does cause illnesses.
And it's blind. A lot of people can't see it until you've done it for so long that it's showing on your face and it's showing in your body, and it's just presenting itself in ways that people, that's when they'll start to say, oh, I gotta stop doing this, I gotta stop. Yeah, yeah. And you might as well stop now, because you're gonna stop now or later. Either way, you're gonna stop. So just stop it.
Well, stop before it causes a situation that it take you longer to
Yes.
overcome. Whereas if you recognize it, and many times it may not be that we recognize it,
Hmm.
but we get that feeling.
Right.
It's in our gut, and it tells us it's time.
Yes.
Time out. It's
Yes.
time to stop doing what you're doing. I mean,
Hmm.
I got it, and I didn't stop
Right.
until you're right, until your body caves in. If you
Absolutely.
don't do it now, it will cave
It
in,
will. Right.
and
Yeah.
then it's gonna knock you flat on your back, and you have no other choice but to
And
give in.
sit down somewhere.
You don't want that to happen, you
No,
know.
absolutely. And it's not, again, it's not that, oh, this is some mystical woo woo. It's a simple reminder. Like, that's why it's a thing about association that you carry with you, to remind you of whatever you wanted as an outcome. If your goal is to stand and be more courageous, and you have on a, tiger's eye, then when you look down at that, or you feel it or touch it, it should ignite that thing in you, because you should have associated the principle of what that crystal and relationship you wanted to have with it. Otherwise, why are you wearing it?
Exactly,
So,
exactly.
it's like, it's not so much that you, a lot of times you do feel the crystals when you pick them up. Yes, you do. But are they going to give you superpowers and make you Spider-Man or Superman? I haven't seen it yet, but it will be a daily reminder of what you wanted to be accountable for. And it's a beautiful reminder of what you wanted to be accountable for.
I like that where you said it's a daily reminder, and then many times that's exactly what we need. We need a little push, a
Right,
reminder to continue to move forward, or should we stop? And this is where many times, Dr. Green, that it's important that we evaluate. I call it the pros and the cons. What's working, what's not working.
right,
And when you match them up, because you're matching apples to apples,
right.
then you can determine, is this the best for you at this given time in your life?
Correct.
Timing
Yes.
is everything, and things that come and go, they're here for a season, and they're
Hmm.
here for a reason.
Yeah,
And by
absolutely.
evaluating it, then that helps us to understand, is this the season that we should be involved in what we're involved in? And that
Yeah.
always bring me back to, what my mission is in life, is helping individuals to understand who they are from their core.
Yes,
What are you born to do? What are your
exactly.
innate abilities? And for that reason, is nothing like having what you just talked about, even from your innate abilities. Then we start looking at what crystals can help us get to the results that we're wanting to acquire.
Yes.
I like that.
Similar to your assessments, the way you can assess a person to help them identify what best fits them as far as their careers are concerned. A lot of times people spend a lot of their energy in careers and career paths that they hate, that's unimportant to them, and they don't get the fulfillment in life. And as they say, that the graveyard is filled with more dreams than anywhere in the world. And so when people are able to have an assessment to help them identify, you don't like sitting behind the computer because you are an extrovert and you should be working with people instead of being in that room, and you losing your mind in that room, you're going crazy, because that's an introvert's job.
That
Go
is
back to
so
quiet.
true.
Well, be a librarian. You can be a librarian and work with people, and it's quiet. You don't have to work at Chuck E. Cheese.
That is so
like
true.
so. I'm that is a beautiful thing that you offer, and I'm glad that people are taking advantage of utilizing your services and you know reach out to you. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you definitely need to reach out.
Well,
She has
that
everything you
brings me
need.
to the point where as we are offering this informational session is coming up on December the 30th at 7 o'clock p.m. in the evening, and that's for the adults, so that you can understand what your innate abilities are, what you're
Hmm.
naturally born to do, and how does your profession matches up with your innate abilities, and are you in it? Are you already doing what you have been
Hmm.
born to do? And so, therefore, it answers the question maybe, why are you so bored? Why do you feel like you're not moving forward? Why do you feel like you're unhappy at what it is that you're doing?
Yeah.
And maybe it's because you haven't yet identified what those God given abilities are, and then working roles and responsibilities that match them. So,
Hmm.
look on the screen. You're going to see right below, is rolling across there, the career assignment search based on your innate abilities. And there is the link. Write this link down. It's on December the 30th at 7 o'clock. And we're going to be talking about your innate abilities from the adults. And don't forget, we also do students. And so those who have students, we can always circle back around. I had those last week. And then we'll do leadership, and then we'll do faith-based organization, so that you can understand your innate abilities. It's so critical to understand who you are from your core, and then map
Hmm.
that into a strategy. And now, a part of the strategy are crystals.
Yes.
Adding crystals to that part of the strategy is what we're going
Absolutely.
to do. So
Yes.
go on and tell us. We talked about the innate abilities. So tell us again, how do we get in contact with you? Because I know I'm going to reach out to you, but what about our audience? We want them to be able to reach out to you as well.
Thank you so much. The best way to contact me is go to my website, www.angelicmagic.com, and that is magic with a K, Magik. And you can leave information on the contact us page, and I will respond to your contact information.
Yes, and I see that she has information at angelicmagic.com as well as her website. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, go out there to the website, look around, peep what's going
Yeah.
on out there. Look at those stones and those crystals, and then write your questions down and send them to Dr. Green, information angelicmagic.com. Send them to her so she can respond. She'll be willing to get back with you. This is what this show is all about, is so that you can understand things that you may not have been introduced to. Dr. Green, we're going
Yes.
to have to bring you back.
Thank
And we're
you.
going to bring you back because we want to know more about these crystals, and you're going
All
to
right.
break it down to us. And then you can give us just a little snippet on how do we care for those crystals.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because we
Yeah.
definitely need to know how to care for whatever we acquire in life. We need to understand how to care for it as well.
That's the most valuable piece.
Yeah, even ourselves. So, anything else? What would be some of your final uh, strategy that you would like to leave with us this evening?
The thing that I always start with is the thing I begin with. The magic, of course, begins within, and also focus on your outcome. Focus on your solution, not your problem. And you will find more peace and joy in life and find things, people, places that can support that concept.
Yes, yes,
Find
yes,
people
yes.
that'll ask you what's right instead of what's wrong.
Oh,
I get I,
whew,
I get people that way a lot. I'm like, what's right? They're like,
I like that.
uh,
Find that people that's going to help you what's right opposed to what's wrong. Because you know what? We can always find the wrong
oh,
things.
yeah. How often does someone ask you what's right? Like, that's the question. So people can start giving gratitude and be thankful.
Yes, 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 yes. Well, as we come to our close, you can always reach me at www.levellessco.com or Maxine at gamsunlimited.com. And then that way, we're going to bring Dr. Green back because Dr. Green has more information on
Oh
these crystals
yeah.
that she's going to be sharing with
Yeah,
us.
baby steps, baby steps.
Yeah, we give you a little snippet at a time. I don't want to overwhelm you because we want you to be able to concentrate. And don't forget, we have the complimentary strategy information that's flowing across the screen right now. And hey, go on and grab that 20 minutes strategy session with me so that we can start setting up your 2022 strategy. And we're going to incorporate Dr. Green in it so she can be talking about those crystals.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Green, thank you for your time. This has been awesome. I am
Thank
so
you.
excited, and this is great information to get us started for 2022.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you again.
You're more than welcome. And I'm going to close tonight by saying, I believe in you. I trust that you believe in yourself. Hey, go on, reach out to me and go on and get your 20-minute complimentary strategy session so we can get you started for 2022. There's no reason to wait. Now is the time to do it. It's bit.ly, a 20 mini strategy session, and then that way we can get you started. I'll be back next week. Same time, same station. I look forward to seeing you. Until then, Happy New Year.